Alrighty, this thing going. Here we go. Hi everyone, this is Jenn from McCree. Friday night, August 26th, 2022. And you know what that means? College football fans, tomorrow marks week 0. Used to be we had week 1, but for some reason, the last 3 or 4 years now, I think we've had this thing called week 0. And it's intriguing because you get a few games, you don't get a full slate. However, you have meaningful football games in the NCAA league. At the same time, the NFL is playing their last week of exhibitions, which are essentially games where the starters will probably rest and nobody really wants to watch anyway. It's kind of like a teaser because it's not a full slate. But those of us who've been waiting all summer are going to probably be glued to our TV for this one on Fox. Big Ten matchup, Nebraska at Northwestern. And after the year Nebraska had, heck, the last 3 or 4 years haven't really been that great. Yes, there is a news article on CBS Sports saying this is a must-win for the coach. Never mind week 1 being a must-win. How about week 0 being a must-win? Well, Nebraska, 11-point road favorites against Little Northwestern. Hi, Will Bond, are you watching? You can't look at last year's stats because 30% of the rosters have graduated and there's new recruits and backups from last year are now starters from this year, so sometimes you can predict in a way which teams are going to be better than last year and which ones might be worse off having lost too many of their top stars to the NFL. I never look at the preseason polls because they're just stupid anyways. Nebraska, yeah? You think Nebraska football for the past 100 years? I can see why a casual fan would probably say, yeah, book them as a favorite even though they're on the road. But you know what? I'm not convinced. You're going to have to prove it. Do you think Northwestern's going to roll over at home? In a must-win game. You want to prove yourself that you belong and you're a contender? Why not beat Nebraska at home? I'm not making predictions here because I don't think I have enough knowledge to do that. But I do say that this is going to be a very intriguing game to watch and a very interesting start to the season. For what it's worth, neither of them are in the top 25 of these silly polls. But it is interesting to see a divisional matchup this early in the season because most week 0, 1, 2, 3 games are usually what we call the cupcake games. With that in mind, let's move on to the cupcakes. Austin P. It's interesting that we've got, well, in Division 1, you've got your Power 5 and your Group of 5s. And then you have a step below called, well, it used to be called FBS, now it's, I guess, Division 1 AA. Austin P is not even in the same league, but they're playing Western Kentucky. Okay, not necessarily a powerhouse there either. But it is, much like there's intrigue when a group of 5 plays a Power 5, you've got a group of 5 playing an FCS team. Western Kentucky at home, they'll be favored. No spread on these inter-league games. Austin P, nobody wants to get embarrassed, especially in week 0. And this is what makes these type of matchups so great, is you just never know who's going to show up and who's not. First game of the year, are you really ready to play? Are you taking your opponents too lightly? Is the underdog team going to feel extremely intimidated and out of place? Or are they going to say, we got nothing to lose? We all remember 2007, Appalachian State. That win took them from Division 2 right into Division 1. Western Kentucky, Austin P. Why not, I guess. Austin P. No relation to Steve Austin. I just think there's a lot of Austins in football. And no... Well, I'm in Canada, so I don't get all the U.S. stations. CBS Sportsnet. Everyone has their own Sportsnet now. You got Fox, but you also got FS1. And we don't even get the ESPNs up here. We have to hope that our Canadian TSN will pick up some of those games, which they usually do. Sportsnet Rogers used to pick up college football, but not so much lately, so shame on you. So we won't be getting to see any of that. Vegas, UNLV against Idaho State. See, against 2 games, CBS Sportsnet. Those are your 3 early games. No, wait a minute. Only 2 early games. Austin P at 12 noon Eastern and Nebraska at 12:30. Then you get the 3:30. I mean, my time zone's even 90 minutes past East, so when I say 5 o'clock, I really mean 3:30 Eastern. What time's that in Vegas? Like 3 o'clock in the morning? Good. UNLV. How many winning seasons have they had in the past 20 years? Not too many. Idaho State, I know absolutely nothing about. Intriguing though. Here's one for you. UConn, are they back in the... They've gone from FCS to FBS, back and forth. They were in the Big East, and then... But they're playing Utah State, who's kind of a powerhouse of the group of 5 in that Mountain West Conference. Connecticut traveling out to Utah State. That's kind of a really strange matchup. There is a spread on this one. Utah State 26.5 points. And yeah, that's probably about right. FS1 has that game. Another late afternoon game. Wyoming at Big Ten's Illinois. Illinois is funny. Every year they'll pull 1 or 2 big upsets, but then they'll go and lose to someone they shouldn't lose to. I can't remember the last time Illinois was considered a contender. Wyoming has generally done well over the years, at least recently. Heck, they put... was that Josh Allen with the Bills? Didn't he go to Wyoming? There's talent there. Illinois, 14 points. I don't know. I'm not sure I would buy that. I would think Wyoming might be a good upset pick if you're looking to bet against the spread. Why not? Ooh, Duquesne against Florida State. Well, Florida State isn't the same Florida State, but it's still Florida State, so Duquesne is in for a beating, I'd say, there. Even though I know Florida State has... this is the type of game I believe Florida State lost 1 or 2 in the past couple of years. I don't think that's going to happen today or tomorrow. Ooh, we got an interdivision Charlotte at FAU. What's that conference called now? The one down south. Sunbelt, is it? Sunbelt or Conference USA? They keep changing conferences, and that's a whole other video. FAU 7-point favorite. I don't know. That seems a little high. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of the FAU Charlotte games in recent years because you just don't get the TV coverage. The group of 5 teams rarely get on television up here in Canada, and even to find highlight packages of these games on YouTube, not easy. Now we're into the night games. ACC Network. They're usually pretty good about following their teams no matter who they play. North Carolina, a lot of hype on them last year. They did have a few losses. Perennial cupcake Florida A&M, no spread. Where's ABC? Why isn't anyone picking up any of these night games? I'm glad Fox is doing that Nebraska Northwestern game, but I'd like to see a triple header here on week 0. Because there's nothing on TV up here in Canada. We're not going to get any of these games. North Texas at UTEP. That's interesting. North Texas, 1.5 point road favorite. UTEP hasn't really done a lot lately. That's Conference USA. ESPN 2 is picking up Nevada at New Mexico State. Usually here in Canada, the ESPN night games sometimes do get picked up. It doesn't look like we're going to get this one. Nevada, one of the top teams in the Mountain West. New Mexico State, I think, is actually independent. Nevada, 8.5 point favorites on the road. I think that's a pretty safe win for them. New Mexico State, why don't you find a conference to join? They had trouble finding opponents that year with the COVID, where it was only divisional games. And now here's a really weird one. Vanderbilt at Hawaii. So you've got an SEC team, albeit the worst SEC team. Sorry, Vanderbilt. I love the city you're in, Nashville, but your team just hasn't won a lot of games in the past 100 years. Hawaii, they're usually pretty good. Vandy, 9.5 point favorite. I just don't see it happening. I don't see Vanderbilt winning. This is the upset. I mean, easy for me to say this based on past reputations, but if there's going to be a big upset, it's definitely going to be this one. Vanderbilt traveling all the way out to Hawaii, a late night start. Hawaii's at home. CBS, again, the CBS Sports Network. Good for them. They're doing the Charlotte FAU game. 4 games on CBS Sports Network, so shout out and a little plug to them for covering that. And us folks here in Canada, maybe we should be asking our cable companies for that. And that's it for week 0. Week 1 will actually start on Thursday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 Thursday games. How's that? Then, oh no, wait, more. 16, 17. Then there's a couple Friday games. ESPN, main network, Friday. Cool. I won't get into those games, but doubleheader, ESPN Friday night. I hope we get to watch those here in Canada. Fox is doing a Thursday night game. Another Big Ten rivalry. Week 1. And then Saturday. Oh yeah, tons of stuff. Gonna be a great, oh my. We'll get into we'll do a video every week. At least try to. Huge week 1. Major interconference powerhouse matchups coming up. We're going to have to settle for Nebraska and Northwestern, though, this week. And I'm looking forward to watching that game. It's finally here. Football season. If you enjoyed this video, say hi. Maybe after we watch a few weeks, we'll actually start making some picks. And we'll just see how terrible they are. Because I do make picks in other sports and post them on YouTube. And as I'm sure a lot of you know, those picks are usually pretty miserable. So we'll leave it at that. NCAA Week 0. It's a thing. It's exciting, and I'd like to see a little bit more television for these Week 0 games. And I'm going to be starting a letter writing campaign so that us north of the border here, someone will pick up at least 1 or 2 of these extra games. So next year on Week 0, we can sit in front of the TV for the whole day and not just for one game. Thank you very much. Goodbye.